Hello there, members of EDTP 580 Digital Citizenship. This is your instructor, Stephen Swan. I'm sending you this video email as a way of introduction for everyone to our course, which will start next Monday, January the 11th. I look forward to, January the 12th. I apologize. We will meet next Monday, January the 12th. I look forward to seeing everyone. I realize there are a few of you who are taking the class in multiple ways other than the normal face-to-face. You'll be receiving, everyone will be receiving one of these emails before every class. You'll receive it the Sunday before class. Sometimes earlier. These emails will basically set the stage for what we are doing in class that week. Class, as you will see here in just a second, has been set up in modules. Each module represents a class meeting, and as you will see in a minute when we get into it, these are all nicely labeled for you so you'll know when we are coming to class. Now, those of you who are taking the class as a distance ed course, you will have the option of taking the course in synchronous mode, which means you can be there present on the Monday of the class from 4:30 to 7 when normally we would meet. You can be there in real time using an application called Collaborate, which I'm going to show you how it works today and how you set it up. Those of you who cannot be there for either the face-to-face or the synchronous, you will be coming to class in an asynchronous mode, which will look very similar to what we're doing right now. In other words, I'll have an email video, plus the video will always be posted into the course that will go over the module for that week. Now, of course, these videos will be much more truncated than the Collaborate sessions because the Collaborate sessions will basically record the entire class, whereas the videos will basically do the essence of what the class is about, show you the different tools that we'll be using, and then let you complete the work. So let's see how we get to our course. I don't know how many of you have taken a course that relies as much on Blackboard for its content as ours does. From what I understand, most instructors use Blackboard as a place for grades and for quizzes and tests, some assignments. You will find that this particular one is very much reliant on Blackboard for you to receive the content and for you to place one of your completed content pieces in Blackboard. So let's go ahead. Here I'm at the University of Louisville's homepage. I'm going to click on the link that goes to Blackboard. And I'm going to log in, which I've already done, so that's why it's coming up like this. Now please don't be scared to death by all these courses. As you can see, I teach a lot of things around here. And so that's why you see all the courses that you see under my name. Yours won't look anything like this. But I do want to point out to you, as you can see, for our 4152, which denotes that it's a spring of 15 class, we have 1, 2 sessions, and then we have a third session. So we have quite a few sessions of this course. And so those of you who are in these different sessions, different sections, you will basically, when you log in, you will see this class. So what we do is we collapse all of the logins so they all go to one place. That way I don't have to replicate everything that we do 3 times. We'll all see the same thing and go to the same place. So once I log in here, and by the way, you won't have that dichotomy there. You will just be given one place to log in, but then it'll take you to this class right here. So this is our course. As you can see, there's the syllabus for our course. I will be giving out a paper copy of this Monday night. For those of you who will not be coming, you can, of course, print this out. Over here on this side, as you can see, are all the buttons. Now, some of these you won't see because I've turned them off. We don't need to have, these are duplicates, or they're just information that's kind of like, why do we need to see this again? And of course, we're not a Integrity course. So as you can see, we have buttons over here to take us to the syllabus. We have buttons over here for announcements. The button over here for announcement does have stuff in it that you will need to use for one of your assignments. And then there's a survey here that I'm going to ask everyone to do the first night of class. It's not a difficult survey, and it's just basically so what do you know, where do you find your strengths, and identify your weaknesses. Here's where the meat of the class lives. These are the modules. And as you see, each module has a class number and a date. We get out of sequence, obviously, starting with Module 2 because of Martin Luther King holiday. But as you can see, they're pretty much numbered and dated for you to know when we're doing these things. Now, something to understand very clearly. If you look at your syllabus, you will see that it pretty much matches what this says here. So you can go either by the syllabus or what you see here in Blackboard. I also want to point out that there are times, like right here, for Class 5, which will be on February 16th. As you can see, we will give you the opportunity to sit here and complete modules that we've already gone through. So like on that date, we can do 1, 2, and 3. So we give you time to catch up on things. And then as you see, each one of these. Now, when you go inside the module, what's in there are the necessary pieces to do the module. So if we go into this one, you see that it basically has a place where it will teach you all about wiki spaces, which I'll teach you about as well. But if you want to either know more, if you need to go back and see what it is again, here's everything you need to know about doing wikis. Now, I'm a firm believer in differentiated learning. And so one of the things that you will notice when you look in these things is you will see things like videos. You will see links that are actual PDFs. So if you're the kind of person who needs a PDF in your hand, you can hold it in your hand and read. Here are links that take you to the websites. And then here's another video and more. Now, one of the things that you'll probably notice right away is, hey, Steve, you're saying there's videos there, but I don't see a video there. Well, let me show you. And this is something you need to understand. Browsers have tried to really crack down on security, and by doing so, they basically block a lot of outside content that comes through. And as you can probably guess, all these videos are outside content that I have put in here, primarily from places like YouTube. So what we have to do, if you're in Firefox, which I am, is I'm going to come up here to where there is a little shield. And I'm going to click on that shield, and I'm going to come over here to Options, and I'm going to say Disable Protection for now. When I do that, it basically does a flash, and then ta-da, there's all of the videos. Now, if you're in Internet Explorer, there is a bar that pops up down here at the bottom of your screen that says, do you want me to enable this secure content? You always say yes. Okay? Now, this will only work for the time that you come in to your Blackboard space. So you'll probably have to end up doing this every time when you go into Blackboard. It's not Blackboard's fault. It is the way that browsers now are handling security. So, as you can see, each module is full of stuff. Further down in the module, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to build an avatar in class. And we're going to use something called Evoki, which is just a hoot. Vokeys are basically a way to have a representation of yourself. And once again, as you saw, I had to go in and turn the protection off so we could see things. Let me teach you a little bit about how to move around inside a Blackboard. As you can see up here, you've got these links. Here's the one where we're at. It's always bolded. And then the next two represent where you came from. These are called breadcrumbs. Yeah, probably guess why. So if I wanted to move back all the way out of where I am, I click on the one to the furthest left, and then boom, it takes me right back out again. So I'm going to open up my modules one more time just so you can see it. And as you can see, here we are. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we have our final, the 11th. Now, please don't freak out and say, oh my God, this is so much work. Each one of these represents a class time worth of work. Those of you who will be here face to face, we will take the time in class to do this. Each one of these has been set up and designed so that, as you can see, for our second module, we'll be doing DC and the elements. We'll actually get down and dirty with understanding what these 9 elements are. And you'll be doing a fairly substantial project. As you can see, we will take 2 class periods to do that in. So we really have tried to design this. And then others on here, as you can see, like this will be our third module, and this is called the Digital Tattoo. It says research your online presence using sites like Pipple and Spokeo. Create a word cloud at www.abcu.com/word that will basically, you're going to find out what the world knows about you. You'd be shocked to find out. You're going to read the social networking nightmares, and there's the link. And then you're going to do a written response. Should be a coherent paragraph of 3 to 5 well-written sentences. Notice paragraph, 3 to 5. Also notice that what you'll do, it says, create a new page in your wiki called DC and the Digital Tattoo. So your wiki becomes essentially your e-portfolio, your e-folder, where all of the stuff that you create will go. Very simple. And then, as you can see, on February 16th, we give you time to come back and catch up on all of the stuff that we've done up to that point. Okay? Now, for those of you who will be coming into the class either through face-to-face or asynchronous, let me show you Collaborate. Collaborate lives right here. And again, you just click on it. And then this link pops up. You click on the link. And it will take you to an area where our class lives. And then it says launch session, join room. Now this is where I'm going to slow down and talk to you. One of the things that happens here is at this point you are leaving the Blackboard space behind, and you'll be using a little Java application called Collab, C-O-L-L-A-B. And what it will do is it will then take you to the Collaborate session. I have my Collaborate set up so that it also records. So when I go into Collaborate and start the class, it's now recording everything that goes on in class. As you can probably guess, that's going to be difficult when you're watching the Collaborate because it's literally every minute of class. Sometimes we've done Collaborate videos that last 3 hours because the class will have run 3 hours. You can join us and leave us whenever you want to, knowing that the recording will be sitting there. And if you need to watch the recording, and I'll show you what that looks like, what you would do is you just click on it and it starts to run. and you have a little bar down at the bottom with a slider, just like in YouTube, that you can slide through and pick up on the important parts. Now, to get back to the Collaborate itself, this uses Java. So if your computer doesn't have the latest, greatest Java on it, you're going to have problems right away. So the first thing I would do is to make sure that you have the latest, greatest Java. How do you do that? Well, you can go to java.com and you can run a simple test that will check to see if your Java is up to date. If you're on a PC, you can go into your control panel, and there is an actual control panel in there called Java. That would be Start, Control Panels, Java, and you can check there and also have it updated. The problem with Java is it's the same problem that Flash has, which is another technology that runs these kinds of courses and kinds of web experiences. They both get updated quite frequently to try to stay ahead of the curve in terms of security. So it's really important that you check to see what your Java looks like. And let me show you this, and I'll show you how to check the Java. So I'm going to say OK. And what starts to happen now is it's looking around on my computer for that application, and then it's going to start. Now, don't freak out if this looks like it's not working. Can you see how long it's taking mine to launch? This is normal. And then once it gets there, as you can see, this would be for me, because I'm the owner. It's basically saying, hey, nobody started the recording. Are you going to start it now? And I would say, yes, I'll start it. You don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. And then let's take a look around at the window here. Let me move it and expand it so you can see everything. All right. Over here, this is where we have a set of tools that we can use in the Collaborate session. For you, you need to be aware of the tools that are available to you that allow you to do things like your audio setup. And I'm sorry, I'm basically losing that in this recording. There we go. So as you can see where I just clicked up here, it's the one in the middle. It's now going to walk me through an audio output sent to your system's default output system. And it's basically saying it's going to check that for you to make sure it works. So I know mine works, so I'm not going to worry about this. If you're worried about any of this, go ahead and click OK and check it. Here's the biggie. We need to do our microphone settings. You can either do these individually, as you can see, or you can go through the whole audio. Let's do the whole audio setup wizard, just so you can see how easy it is to do. And I'll say, OK. So it's showing me the speaker, and it's going.
Welcome to the audio setup wizard.
Yay,
This
it
wizard
works.
will help you set the optimum.
So we know that works. So now we're going to keep going. And it's going to say, now what are you going to use for your input? And I'm going to say, I'm going to use my microphone. That's built into my computer. If you're using something like a pair of headphones, which we strongly urge you to use, because you don't get any feedback into the system. And if your headphones has like that little line microphone that's on it, they should work just fine using it as a built-in input. But I'm using my built-in mic. Let me show you what happens when I say OK. It basically is telling me to do a recording. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can see that it worked because I saw the peg moving. And then I'll play it just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there you go. So I have been able to set up my audio. We do not use video. It's one of those little dirty secrets about the interwebs where people seem to think that we all can get on FaceTime or Skype and have 14 million people in it at the same time and nothing happens. That's not true. something called bandwidth kicks in, and everything degrades or slows down or frankly crashes. And we have seen that happen on Collaborate. The other thing that you need to be aware of inside of Collaborate is I always turn on my talk button as soon as I get in. And as you can see, it's showing that I'm talking. You can see the line moving right above me. Now, this little dot right here is a gain. And what that does is that increases the sensitivity of your microphone. Now, if you pull it all the way to the far right here, you're going to be blasting everybody out in the room. If you are a very soft-spoken person, though, you probably would want to raise your gain a little bit. Notice I totally ignore video. This box below is where people will see you when you come into the room. And this box below is essentially a chat room. And if I type something into the little box at the bottom and hit return, it pops in there. And it has my name attached to it. This is how we can communicate during class if you're having troubles. Now, I will tell you that usually what I try to do is find someone in class who's willing to sit and be the Collaborate mommy. By the way, that's a real term. We used to call them listserv moms, and the listserv mom was the person who was in charge of a listserv, which was the original way for people to do collaboration on the web. In this particular case, I would have someone who would monitor the room to make sure that I'm not missing a question that comes through here. If you are in the class synchronously, in other words, if you're there in real time, don't be afraid to use your talk and just speak up. We will hear you. I will show you then what it looks like. Now, I'm on my end as the instructor. You're not seeing this. I'm showing it to you. And what I'm going to do is when it comes up, it says, so what do you want to show? And I'll say, well, I'm going to share my entire desktop so that you see everything that's going on. Okay? And there we are. So what you will see is you will see this or whatever I have on the screen at the time. So if I'm demonstrating how to go about setting up a wiki, you will see how I take you to where all that is, and then you will see how it all works. So like in the case of this, I would go up here, and you're not seeing this because I don't have the window up high enough to capture it. I'll type in the address of wikispaces.com, and I'll take us there. And then I will show you how to essentially set up a Wikispaces for yourself, and you will be able to see all this. Okay? Very simple, actually, to do. And of course, I'm recording it all at the same time. So, with Collaborate, what will happen then, when we are finished with the Collaborate sessions, I will have a link, which I can't have right now because there's no recordings. And that link will be sitting right here underneath the Collaborate. It'll say EDTP 580 recordings. And when you click on that, you will see the name of all the recordings and the date, excuse me, when they were recorded. So if you need to go back and watch them again, you can. Now, the other method that we're going to use is something called screencasting. And that is frankly what I'm sitting here doing right now. I am screencasting this entire session that I'm doing. Oh, by the way, to get out of Collaborate, you just quit. Nothing fancy, no logging out. Just go up and either exit out or file quit or click on the exit button in Mac. It doesn't matter. By the way, it does not matter being on a Mac or a PC. As you probably guessed, I'm sitting here on a Mac, but it doesn't matter. I will tell you that the Mac does handle the job a little bit better. If you're on a PC, you're going to have to be very aware. Oh, and I told you I would show you how to do that, so let's go do that. So I'm going to go to my Google, and I'm going to type in something called test Java, because I can't remember the name of that site. And then I'm going to go to either verify Java version or Java tester. So let's just go ahead and do that. Oops. Yep, that one doesn't work. Hey, welcome to my world. We'll do that again. Here we go. We would have gone to here if you'd gone java.com. Okay, so I'm now going to click on verify Java version. And as you can see, because I'm on a Mac, it's going to come up here and ask me questions in just a second. Now over here on my Mac, it says, hey, we've already done this. Do you want me to do it again? And I'll always say yes. Now, this is because I do have the proper version loaded. Now, if you were doing this for the first time and you were on a PC, you get this. Okay? And you're going to tell it that don't bother me with this. Again, just run. In other words, I trust this app completely. And boom, there it is. It's done. That's how you do it. So you go to java.com. You basically check to see what verified Java version you have. If you don't have the correct one, it will take you to where you can download it and install it on your machine. So having the correct version of Java is very, very important. Now, I'm sure someone is going to ask me, well, why do we have a link to contents? Well, the contents are basically where I put things that I use in class. Specifically, like under digital citizenship here, there's a whole series of PowerPoints that I'll be using that live here. It's really for my use more than it is yours. Yours will always be here under the modules. Well, that's all I've got to say for right now. Of course, Sunday night, I will have a complete class video ready for you that will cover Module 1, that will walk us through how to set up a wiki space, how to create our own little Voki. We will talk about these things right here, which are called TED Talks. If you don't know TED Talks, you need to know them. They're a marvelous way of hearing what major thinkers think about technology, education, entertainment, design. There's all kinds of different things that are in here. I've tried to make all of my TED Talks very much education based. Some of these that are in here are some of my favorites. Sir Ken, anything he has on TED is amazing. But there's also lots of good stuff in here about mathematics instruction, how the web works, how we use technology in education, so on and so on. Your assignment for the TED Talks use is pretty straightforward. You're going to be asked to create a wiki, and in that wiki, you're going to create and embed a Voki, which is hilarious, in several paragraphs. Now, notice I say several. If you're asking for a specific number, 3 to 5, that's all. Please share your views and experiences about technology, how you view computers in the classroom. Use the trends in education technology and watch the internet grow. These are all resources that are in this module. And then it's asking you to respond to 3 TED Talks located in the course Blackboard space. This journal will be kept online in your wiki space, and as you can see, it is just one paragraph of 3 to 5 well-written sentences. And that's why we give you the date, the class time, on February 16th, so you can get caught up in everything, because we're going to get real busy real fast here. Okay? Again, if you have any questions, you know where to reach me. Um, People who have had my courses before know that the best way to get a hold of me is via text. You can send me emails and I'll respond to them. But I get so many emails that have to do with a million other things. If you need to ask me a question about this course, this class, the best way to get a hold of me is to text me. Don't be afraid to do it. The only thing I ask you to do is the first one you send me, put your name in it, and that way I can add you as a contact. So Joe Smith is going to send me a text, and he's going to say, "Hey Steve, this is Joe Smith in the 580 class." And then what I do is I go ahead and I make Joe a contact, and then from then on out, when Joe sends me a text, of course it pops up and says this is Joe Smith, so I know who it's from. Um, if you do that, you can text me just about any time of the day or night, any day of the week. I'm very good about checking text. I hope you're going to enjoy this course. I get very high marks on this course. People love it to death. We'll be going over some very specific rules when you come to class. Rule number 1 will be that you'll be treated like an adult at all times in our class. If you need to get up, go to the bathroom, or if you need to get up and use your cell phone, just get up and go. Walk out to the ERTC and do that. Rule number 2, because you're an adult, and because you're going to be treated like an adult, if you are finished before the end of the class period, you may get up and leave. Just make sure that you have followed through with everything that the instructor has asked you to do within the module. And that's what we are all about, is having you have success. Rule number 3, don't ever be afraid to ask a question. Questions are the only way that we learn. And there are times when we might go too fast. I have a bad habit of doing that. There are times when I have done this for so long that I kind of go through things in a way that you're going to go, now wait a minute, what did you just do? Tell me to stop. Tell me to do it again. Don't be afraid to do that. And those of you who are going to be in the class in synchronous mode, again, don't be afraid to do that. In the asynchronous mode, you now have the ability to reach me through the text. Corollary to Rule 3 is this office is always available to you. I have a very large smart board behind me right now. People have come in here and literally sat with me and done the work because they're so worried if they're doing it right or they've fallen behind. I hope this has helped you. I hope that I will see you on Monday. We will be in the ERTC, which is the room when you come up to the top of the stairs and you go right and you turn left instead of going right to where you normally go to classrooms. You turn left and you come into the ERTC, and you know you're there because there's a whole room full of computers. And then to your right, you'll see a classroom that has all glass walls. That's us. Come on in. I will have a printed copy of the syllabus for you so you can make notes on it. I also will have a piece of paper called Technology Resources where you can keep track of web addresses and your usernames and passwords. Last thing, here's my text phone number that you can use. And if you want to shoot me out a text right now, just so we can get this over with, I'd appreciate it. So if you, after you've watched this, if you want to send me a text to 502 457 2937. Make sure you put in that text, "Hi Steve, this is Renee from 580, and that way I'll know that it's who you are. Okay, look forward to seeing you on Monday. Bye now.